All right. So like I said, what we're going to I didn't put this in a folder, I mean an assignment, because we are going to um continue doing each a little every day, and you'll turn it in as I'm just going to have you turn it in once as one big document as a PDF. Yes. It does have it. I think what's it? Is it an alliteration? No, I don't know. But you're right. It does flow very nicely, right? So we've talked about this word emancipation before. What does emancipation mean? I mean, yes, but what does that mean? What does the word emancipation in general mean? Huh. Illegal, I think you meant. So actually, okay, in this context, yes. Okay, in literal terms, in everyday terms, emancipation today means freedom. Okay, means freedom for like that's why like not saying you guys should do this, okay? But like to emancipate from your parents means to free yourself from your parents. Don't do that. Bad idea. Not saying to do that. Please don't, okay? Your parents are like I know you get mad at them now, but I promise you I literally called my dad cuz he didn't call me in 2 days and was like, "Are you alive?" Because I was like he's like, "Oh yeah, I've been busy. I was hanging out with friends." And I was like, I'm important. I'm your daughter. Okay, anyway, sorry. Anyways, okay. So emancipation in general means freedom. Okay, and in our case, we're talking about freedom, freeing enslaved people. Okay, so at the heart of the war, right, was slavery. I mean, it was that is misspelled. I apologize. Okay, was slavery. Um, right. It was what the Southerners were fighting to keep. And then kind of more people were turning towards that abolitionist cause, and so abolitionists were urging Lincoln to free the slaves. Um, Lincoln kind of didn't believe he had the power, though, to issue emancipation, to issue freedom. He kind of didn't think he had the power to do so, especially across the whole country. Right, his first main goal of the war since the beginning of the war was to restore the Union. The main issue was not freeing slaves at the beginning because he just wanted to again keep the Union together, and especially at the beginning of the war, his main issue, his first issue of the kind of the war was to make sure those border states. Remember, they didn't want Maryland to go because remember if Maryland went to the Confederacy, that means the capital, the Union's capital was going to be surrounded by the Confederacy. And so his kind of main goal was not freeing the slaves at the beginning, it was to keep those border states from seceding and joining the Confederacy. And so his main goal then, right, was to try to uh, get the Union back together. Northerners had a lot of mixed emotions about emancipation. We kind of talked about that, kind of, right? A lot of them were, yes, they should all be equal and free, and then some of them were like, they should be free, but maybe not equal. So a lot of them had very mixed emotions. The Democratic Party opposed it. Okay, so that Northern Democratic Party, remember the people who voted basically for Stephen Douglas, uh, they opposed emancipation. Some felt the war was pointless if it did not win freedom from African Americans. So they're like, why are we fighting this war if African Americans are not going to be free? And then some believe freeing slaves would weaken the South. So if they did free slaves, then the South would be weakened. Therefore, it would be easier for the Union to win. So the Emancipation Proclamation is going to be a military order. So it's not so much a law. Okay, it's not in the Constitution yet. It's what it did is that it freed slaves only in areas controlled by the Confederacy. Okay, so it freed slaves in areas only controlled by the Confederacy. Why do you think they did that? I mean, yes, but it's only freeing slaves that were controlled by the Confederacy. So if the border states were controlled by the Union, they were not free there. So why free slaves only in the areas controlled by the Confederacy? What? I still can't hear you. To weaken it. I mean, right? Okay, a lot of they believe that it would weaken the South. Okay, if they said, "Hey, you're free there," right? A lot of those enslaved people are going to be like, "Okay, like we're free. We don't have to fight. We're not. I'm not in control." So Lincoln issued this Emancipation Proclamation on January 1st, 1863. Right, since it only freed slaves and those that were in rebellion against the Union, very few enslaved people were immediately free. Okay, right? The Confederacy is saying, right, oh, that's a Union order, right? That doesn't apply to us, but so it's very, at first, it did not immediately free a lot of enslaved people, but this Emancipation Proclamation really caused the Civil War to become a struggle for freedom. Once this proclamation was issued, it turned the war into more of a struggle for freedom rather than keeping the Union together. This is really where we see that flip in the fight, what the Northerners were fighting for. So that's why I remember when I was saying advantages and disadvantages for the North. At first, the South had a greater motivation, and the North side it says less motivation initially. Okay, this is where we see it kind of like flipping, where the North started to have a lot more motivation because they were fighting for freedom. And this also kept Britain from recognizing the South's independence. Remember, one of the strategies that the South was trying to do was trying to get Britain to recognize their independence so that they would help them out, and they would then have an ally to help fight against the North. Well, this proclamation really kept the South from recognizing South's independence, especially because Britain at the time had already made slavery illegal. Yeah, so they would look, since the war started to turn towards, it's a fight for freeing enslaved people. If Britain would, recognize the South's independence, it would look like Britain was supporting slavery. And when they already made it illegal in their country, right, it was kind of going to, be going against their own word. Okay, we're going to stop there. Okay, like I said, we didn't have a lot. We're just going to do this first part. You don't have to screenshot or anything. We're not submitting that. You're going to submit it as one big document. Okay, if you didn't finish that quick check, okay, please go ahead and finish that quick check. Double check that you have submitted all last week's work too. I did not get a chance over the weekend to update grades, but I'm hoping for today or tomorrow to update grades. But double check you have those assignments in before.